Yes, God, Nessa girl. Did you see tonight's episode of Scandal? Yes, God. In an effort to pay extreme homage to the Scandal writers, Shonda Rhimes, Judy Smith, and everybody else down there at ABC, honey, my hair is laid like governor's wife. Okay, get into this bang, honey. This is manipulative white woman hair. Okay, yes, God, this is trusting hair. Joan Cleaver, leave it to Beaver hair. Okay, yes, God, this is honest hair. When you wear hair like this, honey, and you cry like a poor defenseless white woman, people believe you. Yes, God. That's why I had to put on my Clark Sisters reunion blazer, honey, because I am off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. And her name is Olivia Pope. Child, get into this episode. The episode started out, honey. It's a dead body down to the floor in the kitchen. Blood is everywhere, okay? Blood is everywhere. White woman on the sofa just crying. She is inconsolable. The damage to the house is just irreprehensible. It is complete devastation to the nation, and it shouldn't even be. Olivia Pope get in there and get to interviewing the people, honey, and the governor, her husband, is doing all the talking. So apparently he walked in, his wife hollered rape, and he went to the cupboard, got a gun, and shot the man 2 times. Child, now you know in white people's house, all is never what it appears. Especially when a bitch hair looks as trusting like this, honey. Rule number 1, you never trust the bitch that look trusting. Okay? Child, I knew it was going to be some bullshit, fairy tales, fantasies, and fuckery. The way she was down there crying. She was just crying. Okay? I don't watch enough Law and Order to know. Whenever the white woman is on the sofa crying and the husband is doing all the talking and they use this 4-letter word, rape, that is some bullshit going on. The child, it was. I had already knew that it wasn't rape and that the man walked in on them having an affair, okay? And he shot that contract in the back. But child, the plot goes a little deeper than that. How about when push came to shove and when the shit hit the fan, the men knew they was having an affair for years, honey. Catch these teas. And I love how Scandal just tied up all this stuff and how a lot of it parallels and goes hand in hand with what's going on with the election and how the boat still ain't in from Florida. Catch this. Child, so the governor shot the man, shot the back, Okay, where was I going with this? Oh, girl, it's just so much going on. I can't even collect myself. Okay, shot the man in the back, lady on the floor, Olivia trying to cover it up. Anyway, I just started talking and I'm sure it'll come back to me. So anyway, child, you know last week, the last episode, which I did not call you about, Nessa, because me and Tony was going through some things, it ended up with them being in the secret room, Cyrus, Millie, that Judge Judy who got cancer, Millie, and that other man that looked like he's for the firearms and Smith & Wesson and gun and tobacco industry. He looked real good, old boy, like he probably played Parcheesi with Mitt Romney or something. Anyway, child, you know, we was dying to figure out what all of them was in their room talking about. And, honey, I thought they was going to try to goop us and not tell us and try to drag this on all season. But by the time we got down to the end, we knew what was going on. So when they resumed meeting in the little room at the bingo table, they was like, okay, look, all of us was in on this, whatever this is. All of us were in on this, and we got to fix this. We got a David Rosen problem. Olivia said, don't worry, I'll fix it. Lord, I thought she was going to have Huck kill that man. And I said he was doing so good, and he is finding love in this AAA meeting. Okay? So, child, the episode starts going on. And, you know, the next kind of white woman you could never trust is the ones with long red hair. Now, you can trust the ones with short red hair because they is beat. And typically, they be feminists and have hair under their arms. And they is real cool. But the ones that wear suits from Ann Taylor Loft with long hair, run, bitch. Run. Okay? Because you know it is a complete conflict of interest, Abby, that you is working for Olivia Pope and land up fucking David Ross. Okay? But quiet as it's kept, the joke is on you. Okay? So, child, Libby say she'll take care of it. Okay, fast forward to that, honey. We get to the White House. Libby walking through the White House. She run into Miss Cyrus, honey. She tell, oh, hold on, child, let me back up, honey. Y'all know I live for Miss Cyrus, but she had her hair cut on an old nasty, Andy Griffin show, round the world, Justin Bieber at 3 years old, kind of bob. Go in, Miss Cyrus, and let have for that super cut Supreme do. He was at work and he asked his little assistant, why is there a journalist in there? And long story short, honey, the journalist is Cyrus' husband. And he said, let me tell you something, honey. Since you don't want to give me a baby, I'm going to come back to work and pretty much make your life hell. I mean, he is being very vindictive, but that's what beat white women do. They is very vindictive women, i.e. Millie, i.e. Abby, i.e. Miss Cyrus' husband / wife, who I don't know her name. Anyway, so Cyrus is mad. Fast forward, Libby come walking down the hallway talking to Cyrus' husband. Child, Miss Cyrus liked to shit at herself in that hallway. She was like, he's a journalist. Why are you talking to him? She was like, oh, I mean, that's your husband. Still, he's a journalist. We having some issues and you're not to talk to journalists. You know, Miss Libby, she used to have in her way, honey, so she looked Miss Cyrus in the face and told her, you will not talk to me like that. I will do whatever I want to do. And while I got you on the line, I'm not going to no more of these bingo parties no more to talk about nothing. I don't want no parts in this. Baby, she gonna try to tell Miss Cyrus that she was an animal, a political animal at that, as opposed to, you know, the other kind of animals, like the ones that work at the strip club or sell pussy for purses. But this ain't Love and Hip Hop. This is Scandal. These is decent college educated people. Anyway, she said she's a political animal. Miss Cyrus looked her in her face and read that woman her Mirandas. You now have the right to remain silent, because for these next 30 seconds, I'm finna read you for filth. Okay. She told that hoe, maybe you might be an animal, but I'm a monster, and this ain't what the fuck you want. Long story short. Okay. Child, I hit the ground. Praise the Lord with my blazer on. Child, fast forward from that, honey. Olivia's solution to fixing David Ronson was not having Huck kill David Ronson. Thank God, because I like Huck and he trying to get his life right. He trying to make a change in his life for you. Okay, yes, God, because he believed in Jesus Christ, the giver of his life. And from heaven he came down. Oh, what joy I found. You know you were not there. And you don't know when or where. But I'm a believer. I'm a believer. Say yes, yes. Somebody give me a tamarine. Yes, God, tamarine. It ain't got no B in it. 2 M's. A tamarine. So she said she was going to fix the David Ronson problem. Long story short, she had Judge Cancer call in some people from her chemotherapy radiation meeting to pull some screens, get David Ronson his job back under the conditions, the stipulations, and the caveats that he would leave this chase in pursuit of what went on with this bombing in Quinn Perkins alone. Once again, deceitful white women, David agreed or kind of agreed to take his job back, but he's still just so fixated on this and Libya Pope. So in the background, him and Abby still hunching, just hunching, down to the bed, hunching, just nasty, hunching everywhere, hunching over here, okay? And then, you know, she trifling for that, but we'll get on her later. Child, he told her he had to go on a meeting to meet with the informant about the situation, and it was at 3:30 at the Griddle. Now, y'all know Miss Huck, one thing about her, she might be socially awkward, but that burly girl does not miss a beat. Okay? Child, Abby had went back to the office after getting a mocha frappuccino from Starbucks, and she looked on Miss Huck's computer. Child, on top of her computer was an electronic sticky note that said, the Griddle, 3 p.m., David. Yes, God, go in and let have honey. That hoe was about to shit bricks. Quiet as it's kept, okay? Because Libby, Judge Cancer, Millie, and all the rest of them are always 2 steps ahead. See, that's another thing. When you be a deceitful white woman like Victoria Grayson, Millie, Abby, and Miss Cyrus, you might fuck up sometimes, but you still be 2 or 3 steps ahead of the competition, okay? And all them tears, them be crocodile tears. Them just be buying you time to think of 3 more paces you can get in front of the competition. Child, Abby was about to shit bricks when she found out that Huck is on to David Rosson's trail, which means Olivia them are watching him, which means they don't trust him because they have got to keep this thing airtight. She runs back to David Rosson, honey, just spilling the beans, just talking. Long story short, honey, the man that David Rosson had met with at the griddle at 3:30 was an informant that was planted there by Libby. Now, somehow or another, he had slipped a Mickey in this man's drink and a microphone in his bag or in his lapel or something, and they was recording his conversations from his house. Baby, he called Miss Libby, and Libby overheard David Rosson and Abby into the house having pillow talk. Abby had figured out what Citron was all about. And they manufactured software that operated in slot machines. But guess what? Here's the real gag, and here's how it all ties in. The real gag is that same software could be used to manipulate voting machines, right? Now catch these T's, and you about to gag, Nessa. This governor who shot the man who he thought was raping his wife, well, long story short, honey, that was the governor that was beating Fitz's ass in the presidential election. And Libby somehow worked her magic and got Fitz to win. The whole show, the wife was like her husband has never been the same since that headline read across the newspaper that said 5,024, 98 votes. Something like that. It was a small county in Ohio. That man just couldn't understand. He's never been the same. And that's what prompted her to go off and have an affair. Okay, now as you following me, Nessa, because she said her husband ain't never been the same. And every morning he wake up and say 5,365 minutes. However many votes. The number's off, but just stick with me, girl. Arithmetic ain't never been my strong suit. Child, long story short, hunty. Okay. The whole Citron conspiracy, the whole Libby, Cyrus, the judge becoming the Supreme Court of Cancer, Millie becoming the First Lady, had to do with the fact that Libby them somehow as a collective Parcheesi group that played bingo, got that Citron software and manipulated them votes in that one county, and that's what got Fitz's ass into office. And child, Fitz ain't even in on it. That's the real gag, okay? Baby, shit is about to hit the fan and scandal is everything. Now, I said the dualism and the fact that we just got over the election last night, I thought it was so genius how they skipped the episode last week and gave us one this week that got to do with voting and voting fraud and the ballots and stuff and everything that's going on with our voting situation and how Florida still ain't got the ballots and stuff in. They need to just throw them shits away. Baby, scandal was everything tonight. I know I'm missing a few details. That's because I'm just so overcome with joy. But I gotta hurry up and get this old lying piece of white woman hair off my head before I go to hell and burn up in this hot ass, sparkly ass jacket. Anyway, girl, they did that this week. Have a good one. I'm about to take this wig off, put me a new wig on, and go get me a piece of the bar. I'll see you later. All right.